Recording. Start streaming. Go live. I guess we're going to need a little intro music.
Oh, no.
Oh, what is going on? It is the We Still Haven't Named This Show. Evan,
I
what's
like
going
it.
on, buddy?
Nothing. How can we come up with a name for this show? What is, I don't know. Nothing just rolls.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the name we got for it. The We Still Haven't Named This Show.
Well, it works. Well, I mean, that's fine with me. Stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, until we can get a decent name for it. Anyway, we are live. It is our fourth episode of this show. So, not bad, not bad. We got got some good numbers last week from it, so I was quite happy with that. We got good numbers on Sunday's show too.
Nice.
I think they kind of like us, Evan. And or they're laughing at us, one of the two.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they watch.
Yeah. Anyway, this episode is our whatever you want to call it, our grab bag or potpourri show, something like that. These are going to be topics we didn't know if we could really get a whole show out of. So, we're kind of throwing them all together, and we'll do this like every fourth week. So probably once a month you'll get one of these shows, this being your first one.
All right.
So I made a little video. I could not think of what to do, as far as I just couldn't think of a topic. There's part of me that wanted to just go off about the election and everything like that, how like 9 days after we're still waiting on results and we're supposed to still be the most advanced society in history, and we can't count.
Isn't that crazy? Lottery tickets are sold and they know exactly where it was sold and when and everything that goes down in this world, packages, but we just ballots. We're it's just like we're dragging our knuckles,
Yeah, there's something we can do to make the system easier
Yeah.
and better. There has to be. But so anyway, I was just sitting there and I was laying in bed and I was like, man, what is something we can talk about? And I start flipping through the TV, and I have cable, but I don't like it. I like the streaming channels better. So I watch like a lot of Pluto TV and stuff like that, where they have like just marathons of these shows. And Cops is on there, and NCIS and all these shows. And there's one on there that I just love, and it's The First 48 from A&E. And oh my God, that is my favorite show on it. It used to be, what was that one they had on the weekends where they Live PD?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, Live PD was the shit, and then they got rid of it after that George Floyd shit.
Oh.
Yeah, that Dan Abrams or something said he couldn't do it. But so anyway, I started watching this first 48, and then I'm flipping through there, and one thing that popped up was on Scott Peterson
Hmm.
and Lacey Peterson. And if you don't remember, this was back in 2004. He was convicted of first degree murder of his wife Lacey, who was pregnant at the time. So he also got a second degree murder charge on their unborn son. And this was in Modesto, California. He was actually found guilty and sentenced to death.
Hmm.
Well, they have overturned his death sentence, and it
Hmm.
looks like he might get a retrial.
Man, as every time they do these trials, things go on. There's not the same people involved, and stuff gets lost. It's you get a better chance of overturning, I guess. Um, what do you think about it? I read through it, the kind of the Cliff Notes version, Wikipedia, all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing really. Okay, as part of one piece of evidence, there was some hair found on some pliers in his boat. There really wasn't a whole lot of evidence linking that I saw. Man, of course, I didn't watch the whole trial.
No,
What are your thoughts on it?
look, the dude was having an affair. He was a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he was.
Um, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I mean, that was the only evidence they had at that trial was him that hair on the piece of pliers on the boat. Here's the
Hmm.
thing that anybody that has lived with a woman, you will find their hair anywhere. You will
Yeah,
find you might not have seen them in a couple days, and you will grab a shirt, throw it on, and there'll be your wife's hair on your damn shirt.
yeah.
I, I bought a phone, and I got a waterproof OtterBox. This thing it's right here. It's got two cases. Here, Evan, I'll show you. It's got two cases in one. So it's got an outside case that's kind of like rubber and everything, but on the inside, there's actually two cases, one for the back, one for the top. They snap together and it's waterproof.
Hmm.
I shit you not, I'm sitting there one day and I'm swiping this. Uh, uh, and there's a hair in my damn phone
Yeah.
from one of Kim's hairs. I had to take that damn thing apart. And I mean, she wasn't even there when they put the fucking phone in. So I don't know. You're going to have to show me. There was a lot of emotion to that trial.
Hmm.
And why I say that is because there was people outside. There was like hundreds of people outside this courtroom waiting for this verdict. And then they said guilty. And I mean, they went and interviewed some of the people. And I remember one lady just saying, uh, thank God, this is a great day for America and all this. And I'm like, is it? And what do you people do for money that you can go hang out at a fucking courthouse and wait for verdicts and shit? I just, I don't know. If you went and you read this story and you read the evidence they had on him and it wasn't so publicized, I don't know if you would feel the same.
Hmm.
I think I
I
think
don't
that
know.
I think this is a. I'm not saying he's innocent either. I don't know, but I'm saying this is how I see it from the people that just automatically think he's guilty.
Yeah.
And then there was I heard there was other DNA found that they just kind of brushed away. And look, I don't want to sit there and put a bad rap on cops and everything. But after the OJ thing, we know that cops will sometimes manipulate evidence and everything. So if they think they are going to get a rock solid conviction.
Mhm. Yeah, once again, watch Making of a Murder. But anyway, um, hmm. Okay. The thing that stuck out to me reading about it was it seems like his actions, afterward, his behavior and all that stuff.
It
Man, if somebody's missing or their wife's missing, they're very concerned, and they're freaking and they're
right.
calling the cops all the time and saying, "What's going on?" And this dude's like 2 days after. I'm not playing. I'm not playing the alternate side to you here, but like 2 days after, he gets some, like, adds two porn channels to his cable network, and he's calling his other woman and everything. I'm like, dude, he knows this woman ain't coming home. I mean, it's just
Yeah. Yeah. See that
strange stuff.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not
But
saying
that's not evidence.
yeah,
That's
right.
not evidence,
That,
and I know it.
because you don't know how you're going to act if you're ever in that situation. And I know
No.
one thing was that they brought up was he changed his appearance and everything after her death. Well, he had the press running after him everywhere he went. So
Oh yeah.
after her death, I don't think you can take too much of his reactions. Because I don't know though, because I've never been in that situation where I've had somebody that was close to me missing. So I can't say how I would act. I'm not saying this dude is innocent at all. He could be
Uh,
guilty as shit, but I'm just saying in the court of law, the rule of evidence, I don't think they had it in this trial. I think a lot
no.
of it was circumstantial. And,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it sounds like they didn't have it.
so I don't know. He might be, I don't know if he can, it just depends, But like, if it wasn't him, then who?
Correct.
And that's another,
I
and I'm looking at both sides of this because now you got the other side of me that's like, yeah, this motherfucker did it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, reading, you're like, oh, it sounds like it. And I think a lot of the jurors are like, oh, this is, this, who else did it? This guy did it. Was there enough evidence? That's really a tough one. I
Yeah.
mean, I wasn't there. The thing that reminds me, like I said, is behavior. There was a guy 2 years ago, all of a sudden, the winter, 3 years ago in the winter, he goes camping with his kids and his wife turns up missing. He comes home, says, oh, she's missing. And he acts really weird after that, and everything. And I was like, who takes? Anyway, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Well, they finally came down on him, and he blew the house up or something.
Yeah.
He could,
He was
but his,
authorized visitation with his kids while he was on trial. And
yeah,
the lady came in, and when she walked to the door, she could smell gas. Well, I guess he opened up the door, he grabbed the kids, and then she went to her car to call somebody. And as soon as she walked far enough away, boom, the house went up.
yeah. So I think of him, his behavior, and that other guy we were talking about the documentary recently. The guy who, he said he came home and the kids were gone. Well, he killed his wife and kids and, dropped them in an oil tank. And I can't remember what he did with her, but just the behavior afterward, man, that's a weird thing. And I mean, how do you fake situations like that? You'd have to be the best damn actor in the world to pull it off in my book.
Right, right.
How do I pretend to be a guy whose wife is missing, even though I know that I already took care of her and she's not coming back?
Yeah, and a
That's
lot of times in those type of cases, I mean, the husband is a number one suspect, and for good reason. So
yeah,
that's why I'm saying about Scott. I mean, but the reason he's getting this mistrial is for the jurors, and especially this juror number 8. And I can't remember what his name is, and I'm not even going to look him up. But he looks like one of these big old goon football players in high school that wanted to be a cop and he couldn't, but he ends up going to the bar and just telling anybody that would listen about the trial. As soon as they come out, they're sitting there talking book deals and shit like that, and it's like, come on, man, you can't do that. That's why the judge gives you instructions. You know, not to talk about this to anybody, family or friends. That's why in a lot of big trials they'll sequester the jurors where you can't go home and shit. You're stuck in a hotel with no phone. You only get certain channels on the TV. You know,
For months at a time.
yeah. But
Yeah. Wow. Can you imagine being involved in that?
yeah. So another big case from back then was it was about, wasn't it about the same time? Yeah, in 2008, the tragic story of Kaylee Anthony, little beautiful girl that just came up missing, and now Casey Anthony is coming out with this docu-series or whatever on Peacock, and I won't watch it. And I'm actually, I watched an interview with the original Karen, Nancy Grace. She's just got that haircut. That's what I call her, man. Nancy Grace is the original Karen. She is the one the mold is made. You know, she's that one that they designed all the other Karens around. But she said she wouldn't have anything to do with the documentary because they're trying and you can't believe a fucking thing this Casey Anthony says. When her daughter first went missing, when the daughter first went missing, it was the babysitter, the nanny. That did not exist. So she had police out for days looking for this nanny. Well, now she's trying to blame her own father, George Anthony, for Kaylee's death. Supposedly from the small part that I read that was released, she is trying to say that Kaylee drowned. And she
in the
was
pool.
Yeah, she was asleep. And her dad brought Kaylee in wet, and he handed Kaylee to Casey and said, "This is what you've done to your daughter," and walked away. I don't fucking believe that at all.
No, man. I watched the documentary last night. I mean, her dad was an ex-cop, and I mean, he seemed like I don't see it. And the mom, they both knew something was wrong, you know, and why it took that long to get reported, because she's, you know, for like a month, and she's like, well, I was embarrassed. I lost my daughter. This woman took her away, and you know, no, you call the police now. You're like, I need it. And everything she lied about, that she worked for some company, and finally she hadn't been there in years, and they took her there, and she didn't have a badge, she didn't have anything, and they finally let her in just for fun. And she walked down this hallway, and she's like, I don't really work here. You know, it's like, no shit, we know that.
Yeah.
She was batshit crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, because look, I mean, there are women, and 99% of women are probably one of the most gentle creatures on the earth, except for 1 week a month. And we won't talk about that. But there's women right now that would tear this Kaylee Anthony or Casey Anthony's head straight off.
Oh yeah, they had problems in traffic in Florida after that happened. Like women getting like ran off the road who looked like her, and women dragging her out of the car, like thinking they're Casey. You know, they were gonna tear her up.
Oh.
Mistaken identity. How would you like to be mistaken for someone who just killed their daughter?
Yeah. And I mean, if you even start to believe any of this, just go listen to her mom's 911 call. When Casey Anthony, when her mom called 911 on her about the smell in her car.
Yeah.
You know.
And then later on, when she was in court, she denied it. She said, oh, it smelled like this. I didn't think it smelled like a body. It smelled like this. Where she said on the phone call, no, it smells like there has been a dead body in there. And yeah, their story didn't match up. The lawyers like they put the baby died in the pool and they decided they didn't know what to do, so they wrapped it up and they took it in the car and she dumped it somewhere. If that baby was just in there a short time, that trunk wouldn't stink when you got near the car, you
No,
know?
no.
It didn't make sense. And it's but then the mom on trial, there was I think the parents felt guilty pressuring her to have that child. I don't think she didn't want it. And I think her parents pressurized. And I think maybe her mom felt bad and started trying to defend her on the trial, just to like get her daughter off, But the dad was having none of it after all that crap about it. Well, they also said that he molested her and all this stuff.
Y-
That lawyer that she had made up so much bullshit,
yeah. And I mean,
just to throw these people, the jurors, just mind out of whack,
yeah, well, all you got to do is put that little bit of reasonable doubt in there. Just that little
Yeah.
bit, and if that sways one juror, then there's your acquittal. Here, let me read you this real quick. This is from the new docu-series coming up. Let me get the name real quick, and I'll scroll back down. Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, a 3-part limited series, premieres November 29th, only on Peacock. This is from Casey. I wasn't feeling that great and I wanted to lay down. I had her lay in bed with me, she reportedly recalled. I was awoken by my father shaking me and asking me where Kaylee was. That didn't make much sense. That didn't make sense. She would never even leave my room without telling me. I immediately start looking around the house. I go outside. I'm looking to see where she could be. She claims she saw her father standing with Kaylee, who was soaking wet at the time. He handed her to me, said it was my fault that I caused it, but he didn't rush to call 911 and wasn't trying to resuscitate her. I collapsed.
Bullshit. He's an ex-cop.
I collapsed with her in my arms. She was heavy and she was cold, she continued. He takes her from me and he immediately softens in his tone and says it's going to be okay. I wanted to believe him. He took her from me and he went away. So there you go.
Yeah, like I said, he's an ex-cop. He would not behave like this. He would know he would call. You just don't. You don't leave any of this up to question if it's all legit. The kid wandered outside into the pool, is one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After he took her, Casey said that she believed that Kaylee was still alive for 31 days because her father kept telling her she was okay. No, that's not true. You kept telling everybody it was. See, I don't waste your time watching this.
Yeah, she's an absolute liar.
I mean, don't give, and shame on NBC. For giving her this fucking platform.
Ratings.
Yeah, but why? I mean, what do you want to see? Just a lunatic? Because I'm sorry, somebody that can just. You killed your own daughter. Now you're trying to put your father in prison for life. And maybe what happened to her daughter was an accident. But you got to come out and how in the fuck are we gonna believe you now?
Right. Yeah, and she's saying, "Oh, they're gonna pin this on me," and all this crazy stuff that she was saying in jail. Yeah, she's horrible. Just amazed.
Daniel in the chat room said, "I'd still hit it though. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is kind of hot.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Just don't go to sleep around that crazy bitch."
Yeah. No, this is okay. Your kid died. You call the police. You call paramedics. You whatever. I mean, okay, the kid. I don't know,
Immediately.
but it's just you don't pretend for the next month like and and then when it comes to trial, blame it on your. She's disgusting.
Yeah. Also, and, and I don't get this, dude. I do not get this. A man who killed 6 people and injured many when he drove his SUV through a Christmas parade in suburban Milwaukee was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison with no chance of release. Did you watch any of this prison or this
No.
trial? Oh, he represented himself, dude. I mean,
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was
yeah.
nuts.
I mean, he would sit there and just stare down the judge and everything else. Oh, I love court TV, dude, and I watched every day that was on. But
Didn't
it,
he take his clothes off too and all
yeah,
kinds of
he did
shit?
it. He did a bunch of shit. Each homicide count carried a mandatory life sentence, so he'll never get out. But I just don't understand where the liberal media was on this trial. Because if that was reversed, if that was a white guy that drove into a crowd of non-whites, it would have been all over,
Right.
dude. It would have been on every station. We would have been able to watch the trial. They wouldn't have broke
Right.
away for commercials, anything. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely. It's yeah, that's the way it goes with almost everything. I mean, for a lot of the shootings, if it feeds the narrative, or we can make a big story and hype it, they go for it. If not, it's just kind of gets swept.
you know what? I shared a thing to my Facebook the other day, and I usually don't share TikToks or Reels or stuff like that unless I make them myself or something like that. But I watched a rapper, Waka Flocka, and he was sitting there talking about going over to Europe and stuff. And he said, you know what? He goes, you go over there. He said, you're not white. You're not black. He goes, you tell somebody you're black, they laugh at you. And they're like, where are you from? Zimbabwe or something? Or if you say you're white, they're, what are you, from Poland or something? And
Uh-huh.
they call black, white, Asian, Hispanic, any color you want. If you're American, you're called an American. You're not called an African American, a Caucasian American, an Asian American. We are the only fucking country that divides ourselves.
Uh, True.
Nobody else
I,
sits
I
there.
I imagine you're right. Yes,
I am right. I mean, well, I mean that from him saying that,
sure. I
So I
believe it.
mean,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure why he would lie about that, you know. But
No,
we they abuse it.
that's a good call.
Yeah, well, they use race to keep us divided because if we got to
Correct.
a lot of people right now don't realize what's going on. There's a transfer of wealth. Okay, the oil reserves, they are getting low. There was a king in Saudi Arabia that said the oil reserves are getting low. So all the people that got billions of dollars into the oil industry, see, they're rich people and they're going to get their money back. They're not going to lose money when the oil dries up. It's just going to be transferred from this green shit we're going through. So all this green money, most of that, it's going to flip to the oil people. And it's going to be the
Yeah.
same people controlling the green energy as that was controlling the oil industry. It's going to be the same freaking people. What, you think the guy
Yeah.
that owns Texaco or Exxon, you think they're going to be working at Walmart when we're done with oil?
Of course not.
No. They're going to have just probably more money. If
We're never going to be done with oil. It's going to be a long time.
yeah. But if
Nothing's
it's,
going to change quick.
I mean, yeah. But boy, the way they are flaming this climate change bullshit. I mean, it's unreal. And I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
it's a moneymaker. It's control.
yeah. And I mean, the climate does change. You know, we know that. We know Egypt was once full of rivers and trees and shit like that. Now it's a vast desert. We know that
Yeah.
places that are cold used to be warm. We know that places, you know, that are warm used to be cold. You know, so,
Illinois used to be under 400 feet of ice. I mean,
yeah.
the whole world's gone through some stuff and it continues. But
But
yeah, that's man, we're getting into politics here.
I know, I'm gonna back out, but yeah, it just I want people to understand when our government is spending money, they're spending your money. They're not just writing checks out of their own account saying, "Hey, we're going to fix global warming." And rich
Right.
people don't pay taxes. We know that. They got all the loopholes. They got all the lawyers.
Yeah.
You know, it's us middle class and hard working folks that end up fitting this bill. And you know, we've been told for so long, if we do this, we're going to drop the climate. Well, nothing has worked. So, and guess what? When we get off fossil fuel, guess what the climate's going to continue to do? Whatever the fuck it wants.
That's right. Big rock hurling through space, man.
It's going to do whatever it wants. Now, I'm not saying, you know, and I think me and Evan have both said we think we can do stuff a lot cleaner and leave a good planet for, you know, hopefully several generations.
Hmm.
I don't think it's going to last that long. You know, like I predict, big asteroid.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
no,
just know I don't want to be around in 50 years, and I don't think I will be. And I'm not sure. I think I've got another 30 in me, and I can't imagine what things are going to be like in 30 years. It's
nah.
just like, I don't know.
I,
Wow, it's going to be interesting.
I don't know, dude. I think there's a lot they're not telling us about space because why? Think about everything they've done this year. They've tried, or they actually did send a missile or a rocket to collide with an asteroid
Hmm.
to try to knock it off course. Come on, man. You don't do that just for fun. You know,
No.
something has given them a warning like, uh-oh, that one right there, that might be the one.
Yeah.
And you got to think,
Interesting.
as much shit is floating around, we don't know what's up in space. We
No,
have no idea.
that's true.
So, anyway, one more political thing I do want to say, Mr. We got our first presidential runner for 2024 last night.
Yes.
Mr. Trump has decided to
Man,
run for 2024.
I was just hoping he could fade off into the sunset.
I don't think he makes it out of the primary, dude. He's lost too many of the independents. You know, and I'm sorry, it's like Hillary Clinton. I don't think you'll ever see Hillary Clinton as president either. For the simple
No,
fact, independents can't stand her.
yeah, but
Eh,
Trump's extremist fan base has turned off so many people. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
His his cult is just nuts.
Well,
And it's just really just like everybody's like, man, we've had enough. You guys just shut the fuck up, you
well,
know?
and when you go and you start attacking people, and look, I called the 2020 election. I called it with a group of people sitting there. We were camping, and when I think it was that Friday, we went camping. We found out that Joe Biden was going to be the Democrat nominee. And I sit there and I
Hmm.
told everybody, I said, okay, Biden is not. I mean, he kind of went out as a moderate, which he's not. He's progressive as hell. But when I said Trump walks away for this with this if he shuts his fucking mouth. He's got to shut up. He
Hmm.
can't attack everybody that attacks him. And that's exactly what he did, you
Yeah,
know.
he never shows any class. He
Right.
just
And it's like now he went after Ron DeSantis, and then sent shots at oh, what's her name? That one girl I really like. Oh shit, Candace Owens. Candace Owens
Mhm.
has been one of his biggest supporters, but the New York Times wrote something that supposedly she did not say, but he just read that and goes on Twitter and blasts her, or goes on his True Social or whatever. I think Trump got elected because it was new. It was kind of exciting to see this guy with this passion and see this guy that don't take no shit from anybody. But then after a while it got old.
Well, he was the last hope that an outsider, a true businessman, not a lifelong politician, was going to come in and set some shit straight and make it better for businesses. Like, the things we've done over time, we've choked so many, companies. Of course, they send shit overseas, and he was going to fix a lot of that. And I mean, to a lot of people, he's the last true savior, an outsider coming in. And I don't know. We'll see if we ever have another one again. Or are we just going to have lifelong career politicians? I mean, Biden, 50 years. Jesus, what's he
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
You know,
Nothing.
50 fucking years, and he's
Nothing.
and he's just he's a cue card reader and nothing else. And
And yeah, and I mean this guy actually got kicked out of a presidential election for plagiarism. Biden is not a good dude. So
no,
I mean,
oh yeah, if you go to YouTube or whatever, watch all the stuff the speeches he plagiarized and all the stuff that he did. It's like,
yeah,
dude, you're so fucking C minus student, just half ass everything.
right.
Hey, I've been there too, but I ain't running for president.
Right. And I'm sorry, man. The the GOP took over the House. They have control of the House, which means there's going to be you're going to see a bunch of shit come up. They're going to investigate Hunter Biden, which they should. I mean, for the Biden family to make, and he can sit there and say he didn't know anything about his dealings and everything, but it's not just Hunter, it's his brother. I mean,
Hmm.
the whole family's involved and took hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign, a lot of money from China. So,
I have no idea what all went down there. Everything is
no,
kept
I don't
hush, and
either. But
y-
I guess
and
we're getting ready to find out.
oh, I doubt it.
Well, we'll never know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Will we never know the truth? I don't know.
No, no.
So, anyway, that's our politics section of
We
the
got
day.
back into it for 10 minutes.
I know. Now we're back out. So, yeah, I don't know. That was
Uh,
about all I had on them court cases and everything. I don't think.
I'm sorry, I just never see anything ever happen with this person's going to go to jail. This person's going to go to jail. This person's
Yeah, no, they don't.
Well, I guess some actually have, but not the real high level people. They don't.
No, they got a fall guy.
Yeah,
They got
they're
somebody that's going to be you know,
they're all part of oh my god, comedian. I can't think of his name right now. It's all big club and you ain't in it.
yeah,
Carlin.
Carlin, yeah, he said that. He's exactly right too. They don't
Yeah.
give a shit. I mean, look, man. Have you heard them talk about doing anything to lower food costs or anything? No. And who's that hurting? It hurts. Uh, it hurt. It hurts the mom that's single that makes a little too much to get fucking food stamps. She's
Mm-hmm.
sweating right now. She don't know what to do. A lot of people are using their credit cards and shit and running up massive credit card debt just to live.
Yeah. Last couple of years, people been doing that. I don't know how people do it. Just the food cost. fuel. I don't know where fuel's at right now because I don't drive much. Um, God, I still have a full tank in my truck, and I filled it up in like April or March or April or May.
Damn.
Maybe it was in May. I just got it out. It's been sitting since March. Anyway, oh shit. So yeah, I don't know where fuel's at right now. I know it's still high. Oh man, California, because the girlfriend's sister just came out of California. This place is 670, 680 a gallon in California.
Oh, yeah.
She's got an Explorer, but she was driving our Flex around. She's like, "Oh my God, I love it. I never see these things in California. It's just Teslas everywhere."
Oh,
Like, imagine so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But who's that hurt too? The dude working at the Circle K can't drive a fucking Tesla. What's he supposed to do?
No.
Public transportation. That's kind of what they want.
Right. And if everybody's driving those, then we don't need gas stations to begin with.
Yeah.
We don't need that Circle K.
No. No, you sure
Now you're
don't.
just a small grocery store. You
Uh,
could be a charging station.
this is kind of local. I didn't know if you saw this, but a man that was sentenced to 8 years for the January 6th riot that was from Auburn. He's charged with murder and he's charged with murder and deadly I-55 crash.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Huh.
including murder for a suspected role in a deadly wrong-way crash on Interstate 55 last week. So it doesn't say. Yeah, he was drunk, driving under the influence. So yeah, he's done. He earlier this year, Woods pleaded guilty in federal court to 2 charges of assault that happened on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Woods admitted to attacking a police officer and a member of the press during the event.
Wow.
He was released and awaiting sentencing on these actions at the time of the November 8 crash. I bet you he ain't out of jail now.
Nope.
Then by the
You're
time,
screwed.
oh yeah, then by the time his family gets him, I don't know. But anyway, Evan, I think where are we at?
Oh, 45 minutes.
Oh, are we?
Close.
Shit, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and. I think this was a successful show. There was shit we wanted to talk about that we couldn't have pulled the whole show out of.
You're right. We were all over the place, though. Went from, killers to politics to the January 6th
Yeah,
insurrection.
I just happened to see that. I was scrolling through the headlines trying to see something that caught my eye. But
I got you.
anyway, guys, we will be back Sunday night with that's our fun show. I love the Sunday show, man. That show is I just have fun. In fact, I have a little too much fun, and like it's hard for me to get to bed Sunday night because I just sit there.
You're wound up.
Yeah, I kind of am, man. Like tonight,
understand.
tonight's show, it's like I've been thinking a lot. So it's like, because I know sometimes I just kind of go off the cuff and say whatever, but I like to kind of think about what I say and how I put my words out there. Because I don't want to sound like some dude that just, read an article and thinks I'm smart.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do, Evan. I just read one article and I call myself a professional.
Dude, I've been faking intelligence my whole life.
Yeah, man, it's fun. So anyway, guys, hey, thank you so much, Evan. Tell them bye.
Good night, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week.
You guys have a good one. We will catch you Sunday for the Al from D-Town and Chili 442 show, where you are guaranteed to laugh at least one time
Yeah.
for an hour, and or usually about a 70-minute show. If you go and watch Chili After Dark, you will at least laugh one time, guaranteed, or your money back.
Not a written guarantee.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're not. You know, because we'll get some asshole that just sits there and he's just mad at everything. Fuck these guys. I hate that picture behind Chili.
Dude, I love it.
Anyway, guys, we love you. Peace. Be good to one another, and we'll catch you next week.
Later. So you don't like my picture?
Yeah, I was saying that.
It's so funky. I had to put it up here when I got it. It's like, I don't know, it just came with the house at the same time. And I'm like,
Yeah, you got to
let's
leave
do
that.
it.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Stop recording. Hey, later, YouTube.